The apartment building was old, far older than it appeared from the street. Age settled into the walls like a second skin, filling every crack with a quiet unease. Yet the rent was cheap, and that alone was enough for Daniel Ward, who had just moved to the city. He wasn't looking for comfort, just a place to sleep, a place to disappear into routine. He didn't know he was renting something else. He didn't know he was inheriting a rule. The landlord, Mr. Holbrook, handed over the keys with a seriousness that felt out of place. "Whatever you do," he said slowly, "never open the hallway door after midnight." Daniel laughed, awkward, polite, confused. But Holbrook didn't laugh, not even a twitch of his face. "If it knocks," the man added, "or if it speaks to you, ignore it." Something cold moved in Daniel's stomach, the kind of quiet instinct the mind tries to dismiss. He pushed it away. He should not have. Night 1, the first knock. Daniel spent his first evening unpacking cardboard boxes and trying to settle into the unfamiliar silence. At 11:50 p.m., he finally collapsed onto the couch. Midnight arrived without fanfare. No strange sounds, no whispers, no reason to think of the rule. But at 12:03 a.m., the quiet broke. Someone knocked on the hallway door. 3 soft, deliberate taps. Daniel turned his head slowly, as if the movement itself might draw attention. Then he heard it, a voice, his voice. "Hey, are you awake? I need to talk to you." A chill crawled up his spine. The voice was perfect, not similar, not close, identical. He didn't answer. The voice continued, "Come on, open the door. I just want to see you." Daniel felt an odd pull in his chest, an instinct to obey. But the wrongness of it, the uncanny familiarity, kept him frozen. Then the whisper changed, quieter, closer. "Not a dream, just let me in." The doorknob clicked. Daniel stumbled backward in panic. And then came a laugh, his own laugh, played back wrong, stretched too wide, like something trying to learn how it worked. Then silence. It was only much later that he realized something important. It was the first time the thing spoke his voice into the world. And the world had heard. Morning, the empty corridor. At dawn, Daniel opened the hallway door. Nothing. The maintenance corridor was still cold, as though it hadn't been touched in years. He closed it again, slowly. He didn't know it yet, but that moment marked a shift. The building had taken notice, and something inside it had. Night 2. 2 sets of footsteps. Daniel attempted to dismiss the previous night as exhaustion, but part of him, an instinct rooted deeper than reason, knew the truth. And the second night proved it. At 11:58 p.m., the lights flickered, then died entirely. The apartment was swallowed by blackness. Outside his front door, footsteps approached, careful, human steps. Inside the forbidden corridor, steps responded. One set was light, matching Daniel's own gait. The other was heavy, dragging, uneven, like a body pulled by invisible strings. The first knock came at 12:03, sharper this time. Then the voice, "Open the door." "I brought someone who wants to see you." A second voice answered from behind it, low, wet, decaying. "Let me wear him first." Something grabbed the doorknob and twisted aggressively. Daniel held it shut with both hands. The wood trembled under the force, almost bending inward. His own voice whispered at the keyhole, "You've stayed long enough. It's my turn now." Silence came abruptly, heavy and deliberate, the kind that listens. Daniel didn't sleep. Night 3. The thing enters. That night, Daniel wedged a chair under the hallway doorknob and sat on the floor with his back pressed against it. Midnight, 12:01, 12:02. At 12:03, the knocking returned, faster, frantic. Then, the voice came from inside the apartment, behind him. "Why are you sitting there?" Daniel turned. Nothing. Another whisper, closer now. "Let me show you something." The lights flickered, then extinguished. The room dissolved into darkness. Something cold brushed Daniel's shoulder. He bolted to the bedroom, slammed the door, and held it shut. From the other side, the thing dragged its fingers across the wood. "This isn't your place anymore." "You already had your turn." The whisper slipped through the gap beneath the door. "Switch with me. Let me be you." Daniel didn't remember falling asleep. But when sunlight woke him, the chair that had been blocking the forbidden door was now neatly placed beside his bed. Something had entered his room, stood over him, moved freely in the dark. Night 4, the tapping. Daniel taped the entire hallway door shut. 2 layers of duct tape. It made him feel safer. It shouldn't have. At 12:03, the tape peeled away on its own, slowly, deliberately. A thin, pale finger slid through the gap. Tap, tap, tap. The voice, his voice, spoke in a playful tone. "You can't keep me out forever." Another finger pushed through, then another. Then a whole hand slid over the top of the door, feeling its surface like it was learning its shape. "I'm almost through." Daniel ran to the living room, but the tapping followed him. Inside the walls, inside the ceiling, inside the floor. Tap, tap, tap. The voice echoed from everywhere. "Switch, switch, switch with me." Daniel understood then. It didn't want to kill him, it wanted to replace him. Night 5, the face. This was the night Daniel finally saw it. Around 11:30 p.m., exhausted, he accidentally fell asleep with a flashlight in his hand. He woke to a wet breathing sound inches from his face. When he turned on the flashlight, the beam illuminated a face nearly touching his. His face, but wrong. Too pale, eyes too dark and too still. A smile stretched unnaturally wide, as though carved rather than formed. The thing whispered, "Finally." Daniel scrambled backward. The creature stood with jerky, broken movements, like a puppet whose strings had been tangled. It tilted its head. "You're so warm." Daniel fled toward the forbidden door and pressed his back against it, the one place he had been warned never to rely on. The creature laughed. "I'm not outside anymore. I'm already here." The apartment distorted around them. The walls stretched inward, as though the building itself were breathing. The creature's mouth split wider, tearing the corners of its cheeks. "Give me your place." Behind Daniel, the forbidden door began to shake violently. Something else was banging from the other side. There were 2 now. Daniel didn't stay to see. He unlocked the front door and fled into the street, barefoot, running until his lungs burned. He did not return that night. Final morning. The etched message. The next morning, Daniel convinced Mr. Holbrook to return with him. The apartment was perfect. Too perfect. Organized. Still, as though nothing had happened at all, except the hallway door. On it, freshly carved, though no tool marks were found, was a message. "I'm still waiting for my turn." Mr. Holbrook whispered, "You let it see you. Now it knows you." The last night. No escape. Daniel moved out that afternoon. New building, new room, new locks. But that night, at 12:03 a.m., someone knocked on his hotel door. 3 slow taps. Then the voice came, His voice, "Hey, are you awake? I found you." The handle turned, and Daniel finally understood. The rule was never about the building. It was about him, and it would follow him wherever he went, whatever door he hid behind, because now it wanted its turn.